Hello everyone. We are seeing you after approximately 2 years in terms of an educational video. Last time I did a small video about London O level and A level. It was a brief introduction uh, to clarify the term loosely used as London O level and A level. At the end of that video, I promised to do two other videos. One was to compare the two examination bodies we discussed in that, which were Cambridge and Edexcel. Now you can see that on the screen. And the second one I promised to do was a small comparison between local O-level A-level versus London O-level and A-level, or local O-level versus Edexcel and Cambridge. Today we are going to discuss about Cambridge and Edexcel, do a small comparison and try and help you choose the one suits you better. Let's get started then. Okay, let's start with Cambridge then. I'm going to show you the qualifications offered by Cambridge very quickly. If you watched the previous video about London O-level and A-level, you are already aware of this, but let's have a very quick look at it. Now Cambridge offers three qualification in terms of O-level and A-level. The first one is the IGCSE. The second one, of course, is O-level. Third being A-level. IGCSE and O-level are somewhat equivalent in terms of qualification level. Now if you are asking me why there are two similar qualifications, it depends on your requirement as well as the availability in various countries or regions. Therefore, you shouldn't worry about Cambridge offering two O-level equivalent qualification. Instead, what's important is finding out the most suitable qualification for you. So you have two choices. You can do IGCSE or O-level. I would not recommend doing a mix and match between IGCSE and O-level. So you take some subjects in IGCSE and some in O-levels. It's always advisable to stick to one qualification and take all your O-level equivalent subjects under that. Then you can straight away go to higher studies or continue on to A-levels. Right, now it's time to look at Edexcel. Under Edexcel, they also offer three qualifications. First one, similar to Cambridge, IGCSE. Second one, they offer an A-level qualification known as IAL, which stands for International Advanced Level. Thirdly, they offer another A-level qualification. Now, if you do a quick comparison, Cambridge offers two O-level equivalent qualifications, whereas Edexcel does the complete opposite, offering two A-level equivalent qualifications. Quick word on the Edexcel 2 A-level qualification. IAL is far more common compared to the A-levels. IAL is also modular and A-level is linear. So those are the two main differences. We'll have a look at them separately to understand the characteristics and main aspects of the Cambridge and Edexcel in the following sections. Okay, let's take a look at Cambridge first then. The examination board is University of Cambridge, and Cambridge offers two linear qualifications. Linear in the sense, if you are taking one subject, you need to take it at once in whole. You can't break it into parts and take it in different exam series. So IGCSE and O-level Cambridge qualifications are linear, which means you have to take those subjects in one examination sitting. However, the A-level qualification can either be modular or linear. For example, you can take one A-level subject in two parts. You take the first part which is known as advanced subsidiary, in short, as you can see in the screen, AS level, and then take the rest of it, which is normally referred to as A2 level, but the standard term is A level, in the next examination series. The rule here is you have to complete that A level subject within 3 examination sittings, within 3 consecutive examination sittings. I'll explain it in a bit more. In terms of linear qualification, you can take the whole subject at once, making it a linear qualification similar to IGCSE and O level. So Cambridge offers their examination in 2 main series, which are May and June or October and November. In some countries, they offer a March examination series, but this is not available in Sri Lanka mostly. Now I told you there is a rule in Cambridge A level when you are trying to take it as a modular qualification, meaning you take the AS level first and then take the rest of it, or A2 level. Imagine you take AS level in 2022 May-June series. You have to complete the rest of the subject or the balance of it, or A2 level, in either October-November 2022 or May-June 2023. I hope it's clear. If you're not sure about it, just write it down on a piece of paper and try to understand it better. In simple terms, you have to complete that modular A-level qualification within 3 consecutive exam series. You take it in one, you can take it in the next, or the one after. And finally, this is something people really worry about. Okay, I do Cambridge O level or A level. Is it recognized? Of course, this is globally recognized by so many universities all over the world, so you can reliably take it. However, there are some steps you should follow, which we will discuss in a little bit. Let's move on to Edexcel Day. We are going to look at Edexcel now. First of all, the examination body or the board is Pearson Edexcel, and Edexcel offers one linear qualification known as IGCSE, and their IAL qualification is modular. I think this is one of the classic examples for a qualification to be modular. This is not only separated as AS and A2 level, the AS level and A2 level can further be separated into individual units. For example, in IAL physics, there are 6 individual units. In order for you to complete the international A-level physics qualification, you need to take all 6 units. First 3 units are categorized as AS level or advanced subsidiary. The balance 3 are categorized into A2 level. So you can take 1 unit at a time in different exam series. The trick here is you need to ensure that you complete this qualification during the availability of the specification. In case Edexcel introduces a new specification, you may not be able to complete the current specification. I hope that's clear. And then they offer A level, which is a linear qualification mostly. If you remember, if you go back to Cambridge A level, you could take it AS level first, then complete the balance or A2 level within the next 2 examination series. In Edexcel A level, this is linear, which means if you take AS level, there is no A2 level for you to complete. You either take AS level or you take the full A level. So this is a linear qualification. There is no modularity here. Don't worry too much about it. You can read all about it in the Edexcel website under the respective qualifications. And Edexcel examination availability. This is normally available 3 times a year: January, May, June and October, November. A-level is only available in May, June series, whereas IGCSE is available typically in January and May, June. IEL is available in all 3 series. However, this may vary depending on the examination board requirement and their guidelines. Finally, as always, Edexcel is also globally recognized, so you can take it with confidence. However, we will look at the last section of this presentation in order to better understand how to go about selecting the qualification or the examination board for you. Okay, we have come to the most important part of this video. This is where I will try and help you find your higher study path and also give you some tips as to finding the most suitable qualification and the examination body for you. So let's begin. The first and most important thing to do is planning your higher study path. This means you need to figure out what you want to do in the future. It could be medicine, engineering, mathematics, or marketing, something else. First of all, think for yourself and figure out, okay, what are your capabilities, what you are good at doing. Then sit down with your parents, because they have your best interest in their hearts, plus they will have to at the end foot the bill as well. Therefore, have this plan. You have to have a discussion. Don't let others make that decision for you. Try and work together to set your goal, because this is very important. I know only a handful of people do this. Those who really work hard to do this end up being very successful, because if you don't have this set up front, that may lead to so many problems in the future. Therefore, make sure to have a clear study path set up. Let's move to the next step then. Once you have decided, all right, I want to do, say, mathematics, you need to look at prospective higher study places such as a university or a college. By doing this, you need to figure out what degrees or other programs they have, what are the qualifications needed, and then how much it costs, whether it is available for you to do in locally or you have to go overseas, or a bit of both. This one is very time consuming and you can't do this overnight. So take your time. Have an Excel sheet or a Word document set up with these different universities and their offerings. Do a comparison. Then you can choose the best options available for you. They might even be offering scholarships. So it's good that you spend a bit of time to find that out. Let's go to the third step, shall we? Now, once you have reached out to the universities, they will tell you, all right, these are the qualifications you need. If you do O-levels, do these 6 subjects. Or if you do A-level, do these 3, 4, 5, or even 1 subject. Remember, Edexcel and Cambridge are very flexible. You don't need to do a set number of subjects like in the local system. Therefore, if you can go to your higher study path by doing 5, 4 O-level subjects, that would be enough. You wouldn't need to do those extra subjects and spend time and money. Therefore, make sure you find that information once again from your university or college. And then comes the most important question. Should I do Edexcel or Cambridge? Typically, as I said before, They are both equally recognized all over the world. And universities may not mention whether you need to do Cambridge, Edexcel or anything else. Therefore, it's imperative you check with the university or college, ask them, is it okay for you to do Cambridge, Edexcel or something else? If they say they do not worry about the examination board but the qualification type, you get that information. Now that you have the option of doing either Cambridge or Edexcel, it's good, because now you can select the one suits you. How you are going to do that? It's pretty straightforward. Imagine, for example, university is asking you to do chemistry, physics and mathematics in A levels, and you have the option of doing either Edexcel or Cambridge. All you need to do is go to the Edexcel website, Cambridge website, look at the qualifications they offer and the subjects and their relevant specifications. Have a comparison. Look at the structure, outline. You might even opt to do some model papers, questions. Based on that, decide what suits you best. You might have to seek help from your teachers. They might tell you, okay, you are good at this kind of questions, so choose Edexcel or Cambridge. However, the final decision should be taken by you and your family. Don't just do one qualification or one examination board because your friends are doing it. Make sure you find the right qualification for you and the right examination board. All this take a bit of time, but remember, this is quality time well spent. Let's go to the next option. Once you have decided the examination board and the qualifications, the next question is whether you should join a school opt to do it as a private candidate. In Edexcel and Cambridge, comparison to local system, you don't necessarily have to do it through a school. You have the option, rather luxury, of doing it as a private candidate through self-studies or private tuition maybe. However, one key aspect you need to look at is whether the subjects you intend to take are available to be taken as a private candidate. What I mean is, there could be subjects which have things called coursework. A coursework is something which needs to be analyzed or monitored through a set period of time. So something like that would have to be taken through a school. Therefore, if one of your subjects has a coursework, it's always a good idea for you to join the school. Once again, use the internet, use Google, find out the schools and their price and the programs available. However, you may also go a step backwards and find out from your university or college whether you could do an alternative subject. In the event there is a coursework based subject and you don't want to take it, check with them, are there any alternatives, so that you can come back and start looking at your options. Remember, take your time. That's the most important. Take your time, do an in-depth analysis. Okay, let's go to the next step. Once again, very important. You have to then set a timeline by which time you are going to complete your O-level and A-level. Remember, this timeline should be realistic. If you want to be very optimistic and say, look, I want to do all of these within 6 months, be very careful, because unrealistic timelines may lead to demotivation down the road. You don't want that. Therefore, have a discussion with your parents once again. Set a timeline which is realistic and achievable. And then you are all set to start your O-level and A-level. No problems. So you might have to do O-level and A-level both, or some people would just have to do O-level or just A levels? Once again, this is something you got to find out, because if you can do your higher studies by simply doing O level alone, you shouldn't waste your time doing A levels and money. But wait, we are not done yet. Tell me the last time you set a beautiful plan and it went according to plan. It very rarely does. Therefore, you have to have one last step, that is setting some alternatives, backup plans, plan B, C and D. In case your plan doesn't go according to the plan, you can always go back and switch to one of the alternatives. This is very, very important. Most of the time we end up with just one plan, and when it goes wrong, we are left with nothing else to do. So you have to start from the very, very beginning. You can avoid it by switching to this. For example, imagine you decided to do medicine. After doing for 5-6 months, you realize, my God, this is not for me. So you can, if you had planned it before, switch to the next option. So that will give you a very good alternative in case you want to change paths. Well people, I really hope it was useful and I was able to help you set your higher study path, as well as finding out the qualification and the examination board you have to choose from. One last message from me. Remember, it's very important for you to do this planning upfront, because I have seen many people, students and parents, end up doing the wrong thing and they can't go back that easily. Because this higher study path, you need to set it up properly, and there could be instances where you need to change course, and if you have been doing the wrong thing for a very long time, you may not be able to backpedal and go back to the correct path easily. Therefore, the best thing to do is do your research, do your reading in the beginning and set it properly. I have seen many parents and students alike are very hesitant to read these things, do their research. Instead, they rely on somebody else to do it for them, maybe one of their friends or a third party. What you have to understand is that this is going to be your career, your higher studies. If something goes wrong, it will be useless to put the blame on a third party, because it will not achieve anything. I have seen people claiming when things have gone wrong, look, I was never informed, I never knew this, nobody told me. Those are not going to be valid excuses, because things have already gone wrong. You will not be able to reverse course very easily. Therefore, the best thing to do is avoid that hassle. In order to avoid that, what you have to do is divert some of the time, energy and data wasted on social media platforms. Instead, use it to browse these university websites and important databases. Go and find this out information. Have your goals set up properly. That will help you avoid all these unfortunate incidents down the road. So people, I think it's time for us to end this video. This is the third educational video. I also hope to do another video to do a very quick comparison between local O-level, A-level versus Edexcel and Cambridge. Once again, it's going to be a very brief one because I really can go into in-depth analysis. Hopefully, I'll see you with that video very soon. And until then, stay safe, take care, and all the best in your higher education.